the flash sizzle, as I'm calling it, the one-time only going out of business sale that their collectives and their fans are going through right now has been substantial, right? The Wolfpack NIL Collective, which is their name, image, and likeness fund, right? You give there, and then they can get to the players. Said Sunday was the largest number of new member signups since their ACC tournament title game last year when they won that to advance. Reportedly, Corey Smith of Pack Pride was on our network next up with Paul Ihander a day or two ago. Said they reportedly raised $600,000 to $700,000 in the immediate aftermath of Kevin Keatts firing. That's significant. That's real money. There you go. I also want to be clear on this. That's not the issue with NC State. It's not how much you can raise in a big flash moment. It's how much is pouring into the program consistently. I'm a big Shark Tank fan, and so often the business analogies I want to make come from Shark Tank. There's always a question in Shark Tank. Like, let's say selling sunglasses, okay? I show up, and I'm in Shark Tank, and I have a new cool sunglass that I'm selling, and I go, well, 2 years ago I sold 100,000, and last year I sold 150,000. This year I sold 2.8 million in sunglasses. You're going to have Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban's hair on fire. Get it, Mr. Wonderful, hair on fire? And they're going to say, well, what happened this year? And sometimes the answer is something along the lines of, I'm making this up, like Justin Bieber wore our sunglasses on the red carpet at the Grammys. And that actually is a red flag for the Shark Tankers because they're going, well, that's not sustainable, right? Justin Bieber isn't going to wear your sunglasses on the red carpet at the Grammys every year and boost your sales to Kingdom Come. So show us all the other avenues that you're building it up. I'm kind of same question with NC State. Great, you raised $700,000 in the last 48 hours. What happened? Well, we fired our coach, and everybody wants to give money to get the next coach and show that the support's there. And I'm going, okay, all right. What about next year when you don't fire your coach? Are you going to have a random one day where you make $700,000? You aren't going to win the ACC tournament every year and then have this giant outpouring of money 48 hours after. You're not going to fire your coach every year and have this giant outpouring of money the 48 hours after. Can you raise enough money? Can your fans support? And I don't believe it's fair that so much of the financial onus of a team falls on the fans, but it's the world that it lives in right now. Revenue sharing will help, but it's still a lot of fundraising. Can you raise enough money on a Tuesday in July, 2 years from now, after you finish 6th in the ACC? Can you raise enough money randomly to shop in the expensive section of the transfer portal? Or to look at your all-ACC first-team selection and say, no, don't hit the portal and go cash in on the millions. We can fund you right here. When I say NC State needs to get their commitment, their financial commitment, to the level that some of the other contenders in the ACC have risen, I'm not talking about one time only. I'm not talking about empty your pocketbook right now. I'm talking about consistent over time. And part of it is, don't get me wrong, proof of concept. Right? It's I actually talked about it with NC State football this year because obviously they hit the portal hard last year. There was Grayson McCall, there was Noah Rogers, there was Zeke Correll, all of these Hollywood Smothers, Wesley Grimes, we could go on and on. Justin Jolie, like so many of these big name transfers out of the transfer portal, then this year didn't have the winning. Do you know what's going to be really tough? Going back to those same boosters that helped you afford all those guys out of the transfer portal and saying, hey, we need more money again this year. They're going to go, wait, I gave you a bunch of money last year, and then I watched a bunch of losses. So I will say the team has to live up to their side of the bargain. If you give a bunch of money right now, and that helps them hire, I don't know, say Will Wade, who is the most talked about, or Ryan Odom, the second most talked about potential candidate to replace Kevin Keatts, and then they go out and have a dramatic improvement, Pat Kelsey at Louisville style, it will be easier to fundraise next year. It will be. But if they go out and have a few growing pains, is that well going to dry up? And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy the other way. You don't give enough money, they lose more. So you don't give money again, and they lose more, and they don't give enough money again. It really is, how much can you commit to spending every year? Not a one-time payment. Unless you just want one good year. I do wonder if that's ever going to happen. Some billionaire just picks a team, gives them $40 million for 1 year, go try to win a national title. That's lurking in college sports, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet. And maybe it never will be, because I also wonder why that never happens, right? This is how cynical college sports is right now. I started wondering why that never happens in, like, pros. Why does some Texas oil billionaire not just say, I'm a big Cowboys fan, I want to see them win a Super Bowl before I die. I'm going to give Dak Prescott $50 million to endorse my oil field, and that way he can take a $1 salary from Dallas, and they can have all the money under the cap.
You take a pay cut?
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but that's where my mind is going in college sports. And until you have that billionaire backing you, you got to find a way to fund a team. Because as I said yesterday, and as many others have made the argument, regardless of who replaces Kevin Keatts, Justin, we can go on and on down the list of the most likely or the least likely, a Patino, this, that. Until you have the cash, it doesn't matter who's the coach. You can be better, don't get me wrong. You won't be out of the ACC tournament every year if you have a good coach and low funds, but you won't be winning titles, ACC or national, without the cash. Without the cash.